You know, I may not necessarily agree with most of the moves that the Vikings have made so far this offseason, but in the case of yesterday's announcement by the team, I think we can all pretty much agree that this is something that absolutely needed to happen. And in the case of this podcast, quite honestly, I've been clamoring for this move ever since last offseason, but I'm glad that this deal finally got done. I'm glad that this isn't going to drag on any further, especially into training camp. And we're talking about Adam Thielen's contract extension. 4 years, $64 million, worth up to $73 million in incentives. That's some good stuff right there. Very happy for Adam Thielen. He's been grossly underpaid the last few years. He went from being the 48th highest paid wide receiver in the NFL to now, at least for right now, unless any other deals get done in the near future, the NFL just changes all the time. Who knows, by the time this podcast uploads in the next hour or so, Julio Jones might sign a new deal. Who knows? But anyway, at least for right now, he goes from 48th to the 6th highest paid wide receiver in the NFL. Totally well-deserved. This is Realistic Randy, Mediokr Best Sports Podcast. Thank you for tuning in. So if you're an NFL owner, or if you're a business owner, or you're a staff member, employee, if you're a college student, or you're just a bratty teenager, a snotty teenager, whatever, regardless, whatever walk of life that you're in, every decision that you make, you have to think about the now and the later. You have to think about the short-term and the long-term repercussions or potential results of whatever decision it is that you're about to make. And then that way, you can make the best decision for you and your family, you and your friends, you and your staff, you and your team, you and whoever the hell else that matters. So if I'm a parent and I've got a crying-ass kid begging, screaming at the top of his lungs, begging for a Reese's peanut butter cup first thing in the morning, like, sure, I can yield. I can give the kid a piece of candy, and then suddenly he'll be content. He'll be extra quiet. He'll be good to go, and I can go back. Finally, goodness, I can go back and take a nap. I can go back and watch TV. I can go back and do whatever the hell else it is that I was doing before this situation happened, and that's good for the short term. Okay, that's fine. But over the long haul, if that kid learns this behavior and adapts it as the go-to solution for, you know what, whatever it is that I want, I'm just going to be a brat, and I'm just going to hoot and holler until basically everybody gives me whatever it is that I'm asking for, then you're going to have a lot of problems long-term as a parent. Expanding beyond that, Minnesota Timberwolves. If you're the Minnesota Timberwolves, every decision that you make, the priority for this team, the primary factor in any decision-making for this team should be Karl-Anthony Towns. How can we ensure that we are retaining this dude? Sure, he just signed a 5-year deal worth he signed a 5-year deal worth $158 million. $158 million that Karl-Anthony Towns just signed for the Minnesota Timberwolves. And sure, like, coming off of a rookie deal, it's very seldom that rookies are going to reject that 4-year or 5-year max offer from a team. That's a hell of a lot more money than they were used to making. But then you got to think over the long haul. Eventually, he's going to become an unrestricted free agent. So when he finally has the opportunity to go wherever the hell else he wants to go, he can actually go to whatever team. He can actually court other teams as real options to go to. He's going to think about every decision or everything that's happened during his time with the Minnesota Timberwolves. For instance, ever since the unfortunate passing of Flip Saunders, he's going to think to himself probably, like, you've gone through, unless suddenly the Wolves get stability, I don't know if that will happen, but he's going to think to himself, ever since the unfortunate passing of the great Flip Saunders, we've been experiencing nothing but coaching turnover. And then Glenn Taylor, we have this buffoon of an owner, Glenn Taylor, that signed this dude, Andrew Wiggins, to a 4-year deal worth $148 million, his bum ass, for what? Like, why did you do that? Because you looked him in the eye? So he's going to think about all this stuff, and he's going to say to himself, okay, is there a better situation? How did I feel about this? Is there a better situation elsewhere? If so, I'm going to try that. And that brings me back to the Vikings, whereas with Adam Thielen, he's a professional. His agent came out. He said, you know, he's a professional, but it's time that he gets paid. And he would have gritted his teeth and played and would have never peeped a word. Okay, that's fine. But then when Adam Thielen had the opportunity to go somewhere else, eventually, if that ever happened, unless the Vikings decide to franchise tag him forever, kind of like the Steelers did with Le'Veon Bell, then he could say, okay, I'm going to get the hell up out of here, and I'm going to go somewhere that's going to respect me. These players are looking for respect. I need the respect that I deserve. I need my family taken care of. I should be getting paid more, and this is according to 2018's NFL salary rankings, according to Spotrac.com. Last year, Adam Thielen was getting paid less than Chargers receiver Mike Williams, who's like the number 2 option there. Panthers receiver, I don't know if he's still in the Panthers now, Torrey Smith. I like Torrey Smith. I actually bumped into him a couple of times back when he was with the Niners, not too far at a 24-hour fitness. He used to play ball out there. Very cool dude. Very kind of real down-to-earth dude. I like Torrey Smith a lot. Real humble. He shouldn't be getting paid more than Adam Thielen, okay? He also got paid less than Travis Benjamin, Danny Amendola, Allen Hurns. Oh, my goodness. Allen Hurns, really? Is there anybody else out there? Is he getting paid less than – he got paid less than what, Tavon Austin? That is absolutely ridiculous. Come on now. You can't sit here. Now, as far as the now, if you're the Vikings, the now on Thursday before this deal was done was, look, this guy, you know what, he doesn't cost that much. He's on a team-friendly deal. This is great. This gives us plenty of options to go after other players and make other moves on the roster. That's well and good, but over the long haul, you'd be sending a message to the rest of the NFL and potential players, future players that will eventually get drafted. Like, look, we're a team that's just going to screw you over. It doesn't matter if you perform well. You just get in line with us, and that's not going to sit well. But now you're proving to the rest of the NFL and potential players, like, look, if you perform and you do a great job, you do what it is that we ask of you to do, we're going to take care of you. The Vikings are doing a really good job of setting a really good culture across the NFL. You think about a lot of NFL teams, there's a lot of toxicity in a couple of teams out there where it's like, okay, the only way that I'm going to come to your team is if you offer me a bleep load of money that I just absolutely cannot refuse. Whereas with the Vikings, it's like, okay, they're going to take care of their players. And I think the one thing that may be setting them back from maybe forming an optimum type of culture where it's like, okay, this is the the number one go-to destination in the NFL, is you need to win. Like, you need to win consistently, not have these up and down years where one year you're hot stuff and the next you're not even making the playoffs. You can't do that. I think that's the one thing that's holding them back, but they're doing a really good job of basically setting a good culture across the league and within the locker room. It's setting a good culture everywhere. This is a win-win. I don't want to hear nothing about the cap. You've got arguably the greatest cap architect in the entire history of the NFL, Rob Brzezinski. This dude should go to the NFL Hall of Fame. It's just some good stuff. So now you got to think about all the money that you're investing in your players, specifically on offense. You're paying Kirk Cousins an average of $28 million a year. You're paying Stephon Diggs like $14 or $15 million, whatever it is that he's getting. You're paying Adam Thielen on average $16 million a year. So now that's what? That's 31 with the 28. That's about 59, almost $60 million in your offense alone, just with those three players. So now all you have to do now, bro, is get an offensive line. Just get an offensive line. You got Gary Kubiak. You'll have a really good defense, and this team could be really, really good. We'll see what happens in the draft. The draft is not that far away, man. I'm very excited. Let me know your thoughts. I don't think anyone should really be opposed to this deal. I mean, if you are, you're just an idiot. I'm sorry. This is a great deal. This finally got done. I'm very happy for Adam Thielen. He should not be getting paid less than bum-ass Tavon Austin or actually Mohamed Sanu. He's not that bad. But Tavon Austin, Allen Hurns, Danny Amendola, Travis Benjamin, Torrey Smith, and Mike Williams. That should never, ever happen again. No, you did the right thing. Good job, Rick Spielman. And you know what? Guess what? If you get an offensive line and you win again, guess what? I will shut the hell up. Mike Zimmer and Rick Spielman, they'll get contract extensions. They'll be Vikings for life until they decide to retire, okay? Guess what? Everybody's happy. I just want to see this team win, man. But I'm glad to see the good guys are they're getting paid what they deserve, and that's some good stuff. We do this twice a week. Mediokr Best Sports Podcast with Realistic Randy. Check us out on Twitter at @realistic_Randy. Facebook at Realistic Randy. Tuesday's podcast will be on Score North. We will see you then.